Hi everyone. Today we are going to be talking about an agricole rum from Martinique that isn't actually made under the estate imprimatur of the ones that we know so well, like Bally or HSE or St. James or any of the other big names that come out of Martinique. This is, however, a rum that is coming from St. James, and it is made for or in behalf of uh, a company called Héritiers Madkaud, which is about the best I can pronounce the French, but the show notes will tell you what it is. Now, this is a little company that started a long time ago. It was actually established in 1895, and Félicien Madkaud, who was the son of a freed slave, actually, in point of fact, married an heiress in Bordeaux and used her funds to buy a distillery. And this led to the purchase over the years of about two or three more, and they continued producing agricole rums and exporting it to the metropole in Europe and France until about the 1970s or the late 1960s, when a combination of many factors, not the least of which was the downturn in prices, the oil shocks, and everything else, made it unsustainable, and they sold out. And they sold all the distilleries. Of course, now we know which distilleries are there. This isn't one of them. So fast forward to 2010 or thereabouts, and uh, the great grandson of the founder created or found enough money to recreate the brand, used his family recipes to contract with St. James, and now St. James is producing this Héritiers Madkaud rum line, of which I think there are about six, three aged, three unaged. And it's really quite interesting in what they've managed to do, because this thing tastes a lot like the St. James Cour de Chauffe, which was a pot still white unaged rum. But this isn't that, because this is an AOC qualifying rum, and therefore it has to obey all the normal strictures. So it's a white rum. It is unaged. It just comes from cane juice. It's run through the column still. It's, I don't know what the length of fermentation time is. There's actually very little production details anywhere that I've looked. But I can tell you one thing. This sucker is powerful. At 50% ABV, this thing takes very few prisoners, and it kind of like tastes a lot, or it smells a lot at first blush, very much like the Jamaican Long Pond Tekka from Velier that they put out a few years ago, which of course everybody knows about by now because they're batshit crazy tasting notes that we like to put out about it, or even the Japanese Seven Seas, which has that similar sort of thing. Now, what makes them similar is the fact that there's a lot of rancid, meaty, umami type notes here about rotting meat, salt, quinine, and it really tastes kind of fierce. It smells really kind of rancid in its way, with a lot of rotten fruits in there. But this is not the same thing as funkiness. It's not that, right? It's a bit more musky. It's a bit more salty. It's almost like sucking a bad Maggie cube or something like that. And when you taste it, oh, oh my God. Yeah, that really is quite intense. You know how some rums try to make it believe that the 50% is actually smooth enough to feel like 42 or 43%. This one actually tries to pretend it's stronger, and it really is quite sharp going down. And again, you've got a lot of those same kind of meaty, rancid notes of rotting fruits, garbage pails, quinine, iodine, and well, yeah, meat. Really, it's kind of borderline unpleasant. And what rescues it is the fact that there is actually a through line of citrus, light florals, and a little bit of fruits in there that kind of balance things off in a way that doesn't make it too unpleasant. Now, I quite like this. But that's because I tend to like originality. I've tasted so many rums in my time that I know the profiles of the main things down flat. This is actually quite unique. It's not entirely bad. However, I must tell you right up front that this is not a rum you want to give to a neophyte and say, hey, you got to try this. You want to chase them away from rum? Well, this might be just what does the trick. No, this is a rum that you should take carefully if you're a little bit along in your rum journey, you've had some experience with agricoles. Otherwise, it's going to be like the Calgary Rum Club trying the Renegade line for the first time, the new ones that are completely unaged. I mean, it takes a little bit of practice to kind of get into that. And I don't like the word acquired taste. It's simply that a little bit of experience would be good to appreciate something like this more. Otherwise, you just freaking throw it away. There's no two ways about that. It is nice. I quite like it. I like the originality of it. I like the way it runs straight into the wall. I like the way that it's a sort of rum you could almost say only a mother would love, and not even every mother at that. But you know what? I kind of have a sneaking appreciation for it, and at the very least, you are going to respect it. And for that alone, it might be worth a buy if you ever run across it. Good luck if you find it. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk again next time. Bye-bye.